My favorite Brit, Sargon of God, right? My father figure has made a video about the election salt mining, and I figured maybe this would be a good way to kind of enjoy this. Maybe a good way to kind of enjoy the local elections that have occurred. Into the reform elections.
So the results are in from the local elections, and man, a bunch of them really aren't happy. Reform did pretty well. Not as well as I think people were expecting them to do, actually. Not the various predictions. I'll go through it at some point. Because actually, the Greens and Reform didn't do quite what I was, frankly, hoping they would do, which is completely destroy Labour and the Tories. Labour didn't have as disastrous a night as was predicted, which is kind of disappointing. But these things aside, let's just enjoy a bit of salt mining together, shall we?
I mean, from what I saw, it seemed to be a pretty big obliteration. Like, obviously Labour wasn't wiped out, but I lost like 1,000 seats. And Reform gained every single, basically as much as Labour lost, and then a little bit extra. I know there's more salt mining than actually going over the elections themselves, but it was like, I think Reform gained like 1,490 some, top of my head, and Labour lost like a 1,450 some. And Labour still has like 1,000 total, but the fact that they lost over half of what they originally had, and Reform basically gained everything that they did get, is insane. Like a huge absolute win for Reform. I don't like Reform, I don't like Nigel Farage, but I do hate the Labour Party, and them getting wiped is great. Like, that's, and the Conservative Party is also dead. I was actually more surprised at how much of the Conservatives were left. I think it was like 800 some seats, if I remember correctly, once again, for how much the Conservatives still were able to keep. And it's just like, that's 800 more than you guys deserve. I was actually expecting Reform to take more from them. They're just being demolished, and it's great. It's great. And then Keir Starmer had a whole like 3-minute speech talking about, oh, it's my fault, I'm so sorry, but you know, we'll win. Again, we were focusing too much on the negatives and not enough on the positives. And it's very stereotypical, like, canned political speech that doesn't actually say anything of substance. And I'm like, yeah, you sit there, and you hold your hands behind your back knowing you're powerless to do anything because you can't, nobody likes you. No one fucking likes you. And so therefore you'll ruin this country with the next few years that you have left. Because that's all you actually can do. Because you're useless and everyone fucking hates you.
This is a fucking disaster. People in this country are thick as shit, says Frank on football. Yeah, sorry, Frank. Sorry to disappoint you. So the obvious thing to do now is just cram through proportional representation. Whoa, hang on. Have you considered that actually you will proportionally get a bunch of even further to the right parties? And I love this. Oh, we lost this election, guys. Well, we better change the voting system because that's how democracy works. When it doesn't get, when you lose an election, you change the mechanisms so you win every election in the future. That's democracy. It's like, is it really? Is it? Anyway, then let's talk about some of the Reform candidates who won because they're really funny. Really funny, and Chad patriots in most cases.
I should probably address the fact that they want to change the elections. Of course, such sore losers. Like, I'm not a fan of democracy, right? You should vote, right? You know, keep on voting your way out of this. You know, work within the system as best as you can. But I'm not a fan of democracy. I'm not a fan of voting. So I'm not actually against voting reforms or no actual. I want actually just get rid of democracy entirely. Not sure what to replace it with, but some man smarter than me can figure that out. But it shows that like they lose, get absolutely destroyed, and like yes, we must change how voting works so our enemies can't actually function within the system. Great, yeah, nice job. I understand the sentiment of not being able to vote our way out of this, but seeing Reform win with such a huge landslide within these local elections shows that voting can still actually work to a certain degree. The issue of voting is not the process itself. The issue of voting is the parties and people that come into play. And in Reform's case, they're not going to solve the problem of Britain. They're not going to deport anybody. They're the party of Browns. Like, Greens are the party of commies and Browns, and Reforms are the party of Browns. months. There are so many videos at the very, like, over the past few months of them using Indians walking around advertising, vote for Reform UK, all this fun stuff. And Nigel Farage has come out saying that he's not going to do migration or anything like that. He's backtracking every single migration policy. So they're still trying to advertise themselves as people who are against the illegal migration that's happening. He's a complete sham. It's still a sign seeing the Labor and Conservatives being just completely destroyed and wiped out from being the two major parties and replaced with Reform. And give it a few more years, Restore should be replacing Reform. This is an example of how to use it within the system. And of course, they don't like the system now because they lost. Reform genuinely scares me. I don't trust any of these fuckers. Yeah, actually, I kind of actually agree with that sentiment, right? Because with conservatives, I know what I'm getting with conservatives, right? It's just Labor lights. Labor going the speed limit. They're gonna say they're gonna be against immigration, but they're not gonna do anything. They're gonna import more people legally, as they always do, and they're just gonna be useless. Labor. I know what I'm getting with it. It's just a bunch of fucking commies. And global, apparently both conservatives and Labor are global homo, right? But they're going to import more people too. They're not actually going to take care of the borders. They're going to raise taxes, add more green energy bullshit. So Labor is still technically worse than conservatives, but not by a huge margin. I know what to expect with them from both Labor and conservative, but Reform are snakes. Nigel is a snake. They say one thing, but then behind the scenes, backstab and throw people out for actually stating what's necessary to do such things. And then they turn tail and then change their stance on the next minute and pander to people that hate them. They absorb all the conservatives, tricking people into believing that they're actually going to handle immigration properly when they're not. You know that conservatives and Labor are not going to do it. But Reform's actually trying to be like the third position, right? Reform's going to be like the third party coming in, actually doing it right. In reality, they're not. And that's why a lot of people are skeptical about Restore. Because, Reform with Nigel has been a disaster. Homeland Party shot themselves in the foot. UKIP has been dead in the ditch for years. And so it's like, okay, is this going to be another party that's going to be lying to us? Are going to back out of it when shit hits the fan? I do think Restore is genuine. I think Rupert Lowe is genuine, but I understand people's hesitancy because of that factor.
As you can see from the Liverpool Echo here, Reform UK candidate who said the Holocaust was a hoax wins seat in local elections. Mehdi Hassan's like, well, I'm butthurt about this. But apparently, to the good people of Liverpool, not our problem, mate. I think you get some just really mental ones. A Reform candidate.
I did not know there's a Reform candidate that said that. He should do Restore. That would be better fit, frankly. Because Reform has just constantly backstabbed and thrown people out for being actually harsh on immigration. But saying the is a hoax, well, that's A-okay.
Who said the racially aggravated rape of a Sikh woman was good has now been elected as a councillor in Essex. Jesus Christ. And you think, okay, that's really bad, because that is bad. But it gets possibly worse. Hope Not Hate have been making sure that everyone is well aware of the social media posts that Reform candidates make. Now, I just want to be clear, right? I don't take any of these things seriously. These are social media posts. Yeah, they're not very nice. But a lot of it is just people venting their spleen. It's just the people being angry at the state of the world. Ben fantasizes about impaling Muslims, enjoys crude anti-black stereotypes, and believes Keir Starmer is beholden to a globalist Zion Coles. Well, I mean, he could be for the Greens as well, let's be honest. Anyway, he, of course...
Oh my god. I didn't realize Reform had such base candidates. I just thought they just absorbed conservatives. Nice. I'm happy to hear this. I mean, obviously, rape is still bad for the one candidate that said the Sikh woman was a good thing. Disavow there. I remember that story of the Sikh woman because that was only like a couple weeks ago now. If I remember correctly, there was a white man who raped a Sikh woman because she was Sikh. Like, it was specifically a racially motivated rape. And he got, like, 20 years or something like that, or life. It was a really long sentence, which you know what, hey, I'm not against that. But the controversy around it was the fact that the white man did it to a Sikh woman, and he got, 20 years plus. But when the Pakistani rape kings do this to, young girls, nothing happens. They get a slap on the wrist at best. And the double standards are just insufferable.
Won spectacularly, absolutely demolished, as Chris puts out, and he romped home, absolutely annihilated the competition. Literally more than the Labour, Tory, and Green combined. Wiped them out.
Base?
I mean, it gets better. Does anyone know if Derek got in? Derek Bullock, quote, shoot the packies on the spot. Is this official reform policy? Well,
Yes.
he did win. He is now a reform councillor. So I mean, he looks like a fairly serious man, doesn't he? I love that he's just making Steve Laws look like an absolute moderate. There's like, wimpy Steve Laws to Andrew Gold. No, we don't want to kill anyone. Chad, Derek Bullock, Boomer, shoot the packies on the spot. Jesus. All right, Derek.
I have to defend Steve Laws. I like Steve Laws a lot, okay? I know what Sargon's trying to say here. You know what? I kind of agree. But, Steve Laws is still trying to push the narrative within like Steve Laws and a Zoomer historian have been the extremists, right? Pushing the narrative. And then the normies kind of follow. And they still have to do that. Like, they know normies are not going to listen to them specifically, but they're pushing the culture overall. And which is very important, which is actually allowed reform to kind of get away with this. It's pretty fucking great. Pretty fucking great.
Show some mercy for the children, at least.
No. Yes. Yes.
They're all fucking
wonderful people.
Oh. And then it just keeps going. Reform candidate who said Nigerians should be melted down to fill in potholes wins seat. This Metro article comes across like they're trying to hold him to account. Look, promises made, why aren't the promises being kept? But again, do people care? No. Who knows if they agree or not? Well, they voted for him, so...
I mean, to be fair, most people probably don't realize these reform candidates actually made these comments. Right? They just know about reform and what they're promising. Nigel Farage and just sees reform by his name. I mean, maybe they do know him because it is the local elections. So there's definitely that possibility. But chances are they probably don't actually follow him on Facebook or Twitter, wherever they're saying this stuff, which is usually pretty Facebook, because Facebook's still really popular in Britain, especially among these older folks. Also, base. It gets rid of two problems at once.
Metro has contacted Reform UK for comment. I can't wait to hear what the comment on that is going to be. But the thing is, if Reform kick these people out, right? One, cringe, but two, then they've not learned anything yet, have they? Like when Hope Not Hate and Metro and all these other shitlib outlets are just communist outlets are just like, oh, look what this person said, and then you win with staggering margins over Labour and Conservatives, and then you're like, yeah, well, we're going to kick that guy out. Why? They just won.
Well, if I remember correctly, Hope Not Hate actually works really closely with Reform and Nigel. This was reported a few years ago, so I'm not sure if things have changed. The problem with Nigel is that he is part of the elite. He only cares about his own ego and his own wallet. He doesn't actually want to solve the problems. He just panders to it. Textbook definition of what a grifter is. That's what Nigel Farage is. And he makes these parties, uses his name to go back behind it, make them popular, and then if they don't get as far as he wants, or he sees something new and shiny, he'll jump ship and join them. He did the same. There's a party before the UKIP, I can't remember off the top of my head. He did the same with UKIP, and he's also destroying Reform from the inside, because they're so wishy-washy and going back on everything they promised. But they are an established party for the past couple of years, claiming that they're going to do something about immigration, and then saying that they're not at the same time. Restore has only been officially a party for 3 months now. They got established as an official party in February, and they won the Greater Yarmouth with flying colors. So give them a few more years, and they'll probably demolish as well. So I can see maybe them being kicked out, but Sargon is correct. They're winning with flying colors. And if they get kicked out for these comments, that's going to hurt Reform even more when Restore is right there, wrapped up and ready to go to demolish them. So I don't think Natural Fraud is that dumb to kick these guys out, but it also depends on how much pressure Hope Not Hate gives them because of how closely together they are working. So it's hard to see. It's hard to judge here.
But I mean, so far they haven't kicked them out, so who knows? Anyway, yeah, so numerous Reform UK candidates have had Hope Not Hate articles written about them over the controversial comments of being elected, and obviously roaring nationalists just like, England! That's great. That's so great. Anyway, let's move on to the crash outs, shall we? The absolute crash outs. Because I can only assume that the very online people have seen all of this. The shoot packies on site, melt Nigerians down into pothole filler, and all these other like terrible tweets that I'm going to post it.
I'm just saying, once again, solves two problems.
See them getting elected, and they're like, okay, right, it's over then. If these are the guys getting elected, should we watch some compilations?
You know the saying, like, I'm not even angry anymore, just disappointed.
Obviously, she got rainbow hair.
Like, actual legit
Well, no,
rainbow hair.
I'm fucking livid and disappointed and horrified.
Can I refer you to the roaring nationalist tweet?
There goes my future.
Based.
There goes my rights.
Based.
It's fine, didn't want them anyway.
I wish Reform was half as base as these leftists think that they are. I wish they would actually take women out of the workforce and shove them into the homes and
Love and cherish them.
But Reform is not going to get anywhere close to that. They don't even touch anything with women's rights. They don't even care about women's rights. Their whole main thing, Grift, is talking about immigration, but then go backtracking on it immediately. Like, they're not going to do anything about that.
Thank God, because what were you going to do with them? Abort children, maybe? Like get a job working for the government or in the local university or something? You're like, what were you going to do? Vote Green?
Red fine.
Yeah, I love this. This is obviously an American. It's just like, oh no, I moved to escape Donald Trump. Yeah, well, unfortunately, you're getting it over here as well. It's going to be disappointing, but trust us, we're going to win in the end.
It's fine. It's absolutely fine. I know that the Oi Oi Savaloys are going to be all over the internet today. Oh, we won, we're coming to get you, deport.
I fucking
It
wish.
might be a little worse than that, judging by some of the things they've said.
I'm all right. My area, there wasn't even, I swear there was like one Reform candidate and he's not getting in. So I'm probably going to have a Green councillor, if I'm honest with you. This is going to be all Green in my area, and that's fine with me because I will get the local services that I need and deserve while you lot get nothing.
That is such a selfish third world opinion right there. Not realizing that if Reform wins all the local elections, it means they'll probably win the primary election. Well, hopefully Restore wins that, but you know, we're going based off the information now. Like it's very much a like first principles idea, not understanding the consequences and the signs and how the winds change and what the people are actually wanting. He's only caring right here, right now, and about herself. Is that mindset? Yes, 100% is that mindset.
Holy shit. I'm totally on the deport bandwagon now.
So, who's laughing now?
I have a question for all the people that have voted for Reform. What's going to happen to your cheeky Chinese? What's going to happen to your donut kebab? What's going to happen to the food and the takeaways that you like to get?
It's always about the food. The English have recipes handed down from generation to generation for over 1,000 years. They have their own culture. They just existed just fine without the Chinese and the kebabs and the takeaway and all that fun stuff. Like, they don't need it. And yeah, it's nice to have, but it's not necessary. And now that it is the modern age and Google exists, and we already have the recipes, it is much deeper than just food. That's the problem. But they always try to go back to the food because that's something good, right? I would get rid of all my favorite food, which would make me very sad. But I would do that in a heartbeat in order to
Import.
all the fucking
Humans.
in my country. I can sacrifice my favorite foods for my country because I can think beyond just my own selfish desires in 15 seconds ahead.
What's gonna happen to that? Since you wanted to vote, I've got answer it.
Why are people?
I love this. As if Nigel Farage, they've got this wild caricature of Nigel Farage in their head that he is, I mean, like literally Hitler. And that he's just like, right, every person with brown skin in the country is just getting yeeted off the cliffs of Dover. It's like, no, you have no idea how wet Nigel Farage is.
Actually
Yes.
voting for reform. Did you learn nothing from Brexit? They're not a party. They're a business. They don't care about the people. They don't care about you. Problems with this country aren't coming in boats. They're flying in private jets.
Oh,
I was going to agree that it's a business and they don't actually care about you. And it is the people and the private jets like Boris Johnson that did bring in the, the so-called Boris wave. It's literally labeled him for a reason because he allowed this to happen, and under conservatives they made it worse. Same with Labor. So yeah, I would agree it is the politicians' fault because they are allowing this to happen. They're being paid by George Soros, the World Economic Forum, the UN, the EU in general, right? All these global hobo nonsense to bring in the immigration. So the problem isn't actually the boats themselves. I can actually kind of agree with the sentiment here. However, that's not actually his argument. I know his argument is just like, oh, it's because the rich are the problem, blah, 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 blah. It's not the
Humans.
coming in and raping our daughters. The fact that they're allowed in is the problem. That's why the boats are a problem, but the politicians are causing this.
oh my God, what trite green nonsense. Anyway, let's carry on.
Say you won't forget me.
It's sad to look at, man. This is sad to look at.
Reform's going to set us back literal centuries. Oh, God, don't promise me a good time. Honestly, like, I wish Farage was what they thought he was.
Same.
Do you know you have 30 minutes?
What? I mean, just thinking that Farage is going to put them back into, like, the Handmaid's Tale is wild. How, I mean, you just have to genuinely be phenomenally online and out of touch to think this.
What's happening?
Actually crying. Like her eyes are puffy. You could see in the light there. Like there's like tears in her eyes. She's got the snot trailing down her nose and she's sniffling. So she's actually legitimately crying over this. This is why women should
Absolutely be in politics.
This is why they should
Should.
vote. They're too emotional. They feel things, and therefore that's how it is. But at least you can laugh at them when they do.
What's happening?
What's happening?
We've had enough.
What's happening?
I can't lie, let's start packing up bags now. I can't lie, it's peak.
He has such a strong accent, and he literally
Looks like an intelligent thought.
he's not British. He doesn't even have the accent. Not that it really matters. Still, but I don't really care. YH long day. What the fuck is YH? A young homie?
I can't lie, let's start packing up bags now. I can't lie, it's peak.
Goodbye means that you're losing me for life.
Hey, reform of one. That's us GAYs going to prison and
GAYs.
I don't even know why you'd think that. Reform of one, oh God, Nigel Farage is going to put all the gays in prison. What? What are you talking about?
Like, not even restored, right? Rupert Lowe hasn't even addressed the gay question, okay? Like, whatsoever. Nobody actually cares about the gays. Most normal people don't actually care about the gays because there's a very live and let live mentality, especially in Britain, where they're a lot more accepted about the gays than in America is, even now. Nigel's not going to touch this. Rupert Lowe and Restore doesn't have any policy about it, so what do you think Nigel's going to care about it? Like, they're trying to get their oppression points for nothing.
Probably going to get the Farage wave, man. Like, why would you think this?
Having everything taken away.
Stop with the copyrighted music!
I can't lie, everybody pack your bags. Everybody pack your flipping bags right now.
God, please.
Because what do you mean reforms wouldn't buy that much? Yeah. Long.
Oh, that's a great point that she's making there. Because it's just not actually anything. She's just being e-thought, showing her face and her tits. The fact that some of these winning reform candidates are brown people is getting beyond me. So this goes back to the whole racial aspect within politics that nobody actually really wants to properly address. England is a white country, 100%. England is a white country because the English are white and they've lived there for thousands of years. They see the Browns as traitors for going with reform, going against their people like Uncle Tom's. So they're like, oh, I can't believe these reform candidates are also Browns. They're race traitors. How dare they vote against their own interest here? Trying to throw us others under the bus. Like, because you should all vote for Labour or the Greens.
Man, they're not taking it well, are they? So, one video that I found is particularly interesting was this.
Actually, that video that he just played there, that I was complaining about the copyrighted music about, so I cold tweeted that. Because the thing about it, he didn't play the whole video. If you watch the whole minute 33 seconds of it, every single one of those people complaining about reform winning are women or browns. And the only white guy is the gay dude. I don't think that he's a good representation for what the actual white British men represent and stand for.
So, one video that I found is particularly interesting was this one. Now, it's 2 minutes long, so I won't play the whole thing. But it's a Muslim guy in his car where he's like, look, it's not necessarily, like, he's not saying that, like with these other ones, that reform are just going to start goose-stepping down the street, shooting every Paki that they see on sight,
That would be
right?
terrible.
Which is obviously not what they're going to do. What he's saying is what this indicates is the general tone of the British public is we've had enough of immigration, and in his case, he thinks Islam. I'll play a bit.
So the Muslims now need to understand that in order for you to preserve your Islam, your morality, your dignity, you have to now move back to your own lands. This is the highlight. This is the real issue that we need to understand now, that we need to talk about this elephant in the room now. There's no point denying these things. There's no point putting your head in the sand. You have to have these conversations now, that we have to question our existence in the UK. And for that, of our kids, that do we want to be in an environment where we are not wanted, where our values are not wanted, where Islam is not wanted?
He's trying to talk to like other Muslims here and be like, okay, we need to move back now because we're not wanted. Good. Like, this is actually, I'm glad they're waking up and realizing it, but it also does show how selfish that they are. They didn't come here to assimilate, right? They didn't come to Britain for the tea and the crumpets and the Big Ben. They didn't come over to Britain for the freedoms and ideals, the entirety of British culture and the benefits and boons that's given to the world. They came over to leech off the taxpayers and to get as much welfare as possible, to steal their jobs that they actually are working, and just repopulate and take over. And now reform winning, even if Farage is a wet noodle and a backstabber, does show the fact that there is a tide, right? The winds are changing. People are tired of immigration and of Muslims for the rape gangs, for not properly assimilating, for spitting on, the English people, and ruining their lives. And they're realizing that they go move back so they can actually keep their culture because they never meant to assimilate to begin with. I'm glad he's actually trying to speak to his fellow people about this, instead of just having a meltdown about it, because it's such a mask off.
That's the genuine question. Because actually, underlying all of this, there is something that's being said, and that is, in most part, the English have had enough. We just don't want the changes that have been inflicted on our country. And whilst Nigel Farage isn't actually going to enact any of the things that these people have said, this is the indication that the smart people will take from it. It's like, oh, right, okay, people are voting for what they perceive to be the far right for a reason. And Nigel Farage was the big winner of the local elections, whether you like it or not. So this is actually the thing to take from it. And then you get the sort of like, oh, the old people deciding our future. It's so annoying. It's like, yeah, but maybe you're retarded and have no life experience. And actually, it'd be better for someone else to decide your future. I mean, you get these just ridiculous things here. Proud British mum vows to flee Handmaid's Tale UK after early reform election wins. I mean,
this is just like when Trump won in 2016 and then in 2024. All these people claim that they're going to flee and seek refuge in Canada or someplace else. They're not going to leave. There's Richard Singling showing how much, to the fellow leftists, how much they hate their country, even though their country gave them so many benefits and boons. But they're not actually going to leave because it's too comfortable. I mean, there's lots of problems with the UK. It's not actually that comfortable with how bad the economy is there, but it's still what they grew up and raised in, and they're still doing relatively well for themselves, all things considered. And so they're just acting like they're gonna leave, be like, oh, we're being oppressed, the Handmaid's Tale, oh, immigration, whatever their complaint is, but they're not gonna leave. They're not gonna leave.
I just don't even know how you get to this point. But apparently the UK is becoming racist, and apparently that's the Handmaid's Tale. I know racism has been around for a very long time, but it's coming back, basically. And so this is Handmaid's Tale. I regularly see posts in my area of people warning about mixing of breeding and mixing ethnicities. No, you don't. No, you bloody don't. You absolute liar. I don't believe you at all.
I mean, if you hang out in the Zoomer historian circles, you will see that. But I don't think some crazy leftist is actually seeing that kind of stuff.
But again, this is the signal that's being transmitted through the noise. You can imagine how they were taking on Blue Sky. But on Blue Sky, generally, obviously, they were melting down. But again, after all the noise, there was a signal that goes through it. And this is where it goes. The threat to the right of reform. The threat is to the right of reform. I hope the media will start to show some interest in what Rupert Lowe is building and with who. The pieces thus far have been fluff. Yeah, I mean, Restore's press coverage so far has just been, Jesus, they want to do these things. It's like, yeah, great. So this one's another good one. Farage's reform of one big in Norfolk, and my constituency, the even more odious Rupert Lowe, put up 9 candidates from his party across the wards and have all been elected. Voting queues were bigger than I'd ever seen. So very
Based good.
Determined to get their vote in. That's right. Voting queues bigger than you've ever seen for Restore Britain. Love it. Then you get more. I still have Facebook, and the amount of Rupert Lowe and reformers chucked into my feed is insane. I thought Lowe's the chairman of Southampton, not some racist old C-word. They're not happy. They're not happy. They can feel that the wind has changed. It is blowing against them. And again, I think Farage is weak sauce, but at the end of the day, it's still indicative of the direction of travel of the country, and the tremendous victory in Great Yarmouth, as we see them complaining about, is even more indicative that this is just the first wave. This is just the first step on the road. So if you'd like to join us for the rest of the journey, I'll leave a link in the description to join the Restore Britain party, and we will see you at the local branch meeting tomorrow.
Hell yeah. See, this is what I talked about a little bit earlier in stream, about how, you have to take in the good news and not blackpill as much. Even if there is better out there. I don't like reform, I don't like Nigel Farage and when he's done with the party, because I think Restore Britain is better. I still can recognize that reform just winning in a landslide and demolishing all the other parties, especially the 2 major ones, is a huge sign that times are changing, sentiments are changing, and people are waking up and realizing the damage that these parties have done to the country, damage immigration has done to the country, and want to try to fix it the best way they can, which is through voting. That is the peaceful right way to fix it, is through voting. And then if things don't change, well, that's a different story. It's pretty fucking good.